Good evening, folks. Good evening to you. Sorry, I know I'm a few minutes late, but I am here eventually. Wat sug jy soos 'n ou man? Ek sug soos 'n ou man want ek het gehardloop om hier so uit te kom en ek het gedog ek gaan laat wees vanaand en ek was 3 minute laat, maar ek is redelik dankbaar dat ek net 3 minute laat is, want op 'n stadium met my GPS gesê ek gaan eers 12 minute oor 6 hier wees. So ek voel of ek 'n wen gehad het. Ek voel of ek 'n wen gehad het, ek is betyds, well, kind of betyds. Yes, so ons bly 3 minute langer vanaand. Hoewel ek moet sê dit is môre is lang naweek, môre is Paasdag. So ek weet nie of ek 3 minute langer wil bly. Ek dink ek moet 3 minute korter gaan vanaand. Laat ek 'n bietjie van 'n langer lang naweek kan hê. Wat sê jy, meneer? Any guys. Ja, so hierso is ons bietjie rond gehardloop. Gedink ek gaan 'n lang naweek kan hê en 12 uur al begin, maar nee. Ek gaan weg vir die lang naweek, maak geen fout nie. Ek gaan weg vir die lang naweek. Maar ons ry eers môre middag en ek sien verskriklik baie daarna uit. Nou wanneer gaan ek jou ontmoet, Tic-Tac-Toe? Jy kom hier so onder hierdie skuilnaam in en ek weet nooit met wie ek praat nie, wel het voel of ons al 'n hegte vriendskap het. Ek wonder net wanneer gaan ek en jy nou eventually eendag ontmoet? En of wanneer gaan ek uiteindelik eendag uitvind wie is jy regtig? Jy is soos die skim in die nag. Jy is 100% reg, soos die skim in die nag. En ek sou nie verbaas wees as jy iemand is wat ek baie goed ken nie en jy jouself net so onder die radar hou nie. Maar nou ja, hoe dit ook al sê, partykeer is dit lekker om 'n bietjie mysterie in 'n mens se lewe te hê. En dit is baie lekker om jou elke nou en dan nie so te hê op my lives en met die ander vrae en al die tipe van dinge. Hey, look at that! Hou gou vas, dat ek net gaan kyk of hierdie ding nou reg is. Would you ever? Okay. Nog nie wat my foon sê. Ek sien nou net, hy sê vir my, okay. Okay, nee, ek dog hy sê vir my ek het nou 80,000 viewers, maar ek het nog nie, ek het of followers. Moenie worry nie, man. Moenie dat die pensioen wat seer gekry het 'n groot probleem is nie. Dit is net 'n groot probleem as jy soos nou moet aftree. As jy nog 'n bietjie kan vasbyt, is dit regtig nie 'n probleem nie. Nee, nog steeds niks nie, maar nog steeds niks nie. Moet jou vat en jou laat gesels met 'n paar van my kliënte wat in 2020 met COVID verskriklik gehuil het in daai maand van Maart toe COVID ingegaan het en ek het vir hulle gesê moenie worry nie, hou net vas, wag net, byt net. En toe Augustus maand slaan, toe wil almal vir my geskenke koop. Toe het alles gerecover plus 10%, so toe was hulle shop. Ja, nee, dis fyn. Dit is piekfyn. Teesak sê, wat is die probleem? Wat is die issue? Wat is die issue, Teesak? Daar is nie 'n issue nie, daar is nie 'n probleem nie. Niks nie, nothing, nada. Hoor so, het ek vanaand 'n hele 2 followers wat op is en albei is Afrikaans. Gaan ons heel aand hier sit in Afrikaans chat. Maar Teesak, nee, daar is nie 'n probleem nie. Een van ons is 'n bietjie teleurgesteld omdat sy pensioen af is en die ander een is uit asem omdat hy moes jaag om hier te kom. Jou teesakkie is stikkend. Okay. Eerlik, ek is so bly julle kan net goeders stik en ek kan praat. Nou kan ek seker maak dat sekere goeders nie uitgaan nie. En met die gejagery is my keel soos 'n rarig droog. Any case, ek het 'n gevoel, ek moet met alle eerlikheid sê, ek het 'n gevoel dat nie veel mense gaan vanaand intune nie, want ek dink almal is klaar op hierdie lang naweek vibe. En ek het 'n gevoel dat nie veel mense stel vanaand belang om finansies te gesels nie. Almal wil 'n bier gaan drink, 'n braaivleis gaan doen, lang naweek begin doen. So ek het net eenvoudig hierdie feeling dat die drie van ons gaan dalk heel aan met mekaar praat. Ek, tic-tac-toe en teesak. Moenie my teesak ken nie. Dis teesak, okay. Okay, teesak. 200 teesakke. Nie 200 teesakkies nie. Okay, gotcha. Ek dink as mense nou begin intune, gaan hulle wonder, wat die hel gaan hier aan? Wat se finansies word hier gepraat met sulke nonsens? Ten spyte van die oorlog is my pensioen nog steeds op 16.4 op die laaste om. Very, very possible. Ja, well done China, well done. Okay, hier kom die eerste werklike ding in vanaand. BI1 It's, wat seker blits is. What average percentage growth do you expect from your investments? I don't know about you, Blitz, but I have the expectation that I'm going to get at least 10 to 12% return on investment. And I say 10 to 12% because I make use of portfolios which have shown 14 to 16% average return on investment over a number of years. And I have the majority of my funds invested in those portfolios. So 14 to 60% is actually the return that I hope to get. But being realistic and understanding the markets can't carry on always the way that they have, I'm hoping for 10 to 12% return. And if I do get the 14 to 16% return, well, I'll just be a lot happier. But yeah, that's it. I'm pretty aggressive when it comes to my investments. I invested in aggressive portfolios and aggressive unit trust. And therefore, I am expecting an average of 10 to 12%. Teesak is op sy knie. Jeez. These two guys, Teesak and tic-tac-toe, is having the blast of a lifetime, chatting a bunch of nonsense on this live Q&A tonight. We've been going for almost 10 minutes and there's been absolutely no common sense. Except for these two talking a lot of shite. Oh, I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, just if you tune in and you're expecting a very serious Q&A, that is what it is normally, but so far we've only had one serious question. The rest of the time we've just been joking around and having a bunch of fun. Corey, wat se voertuig ry jy? Tic-tac-toe, you are going to either laugh or compliment me, I don't know which one. Maar ek ry 'n 2015 BMW X5. En dit ry ek nadat my Toyota Fortuner gesteel is, wat brand new spankie uit die boks gekoop is, en toe het ek vir 6 of 8 maande het ek nie 'n kar gehad nie, ek het oralste ge-Uber, en toe besluit ek, okay, ja nee, dit is nou tyd, toe koop ek vir my 2015 tweedehandse BMW X5, en ek love die ouetjie to bits, en hy is diesel, ja, inderdaad. So ek verwag om die volgende keer wat ek gaan volmaak al by die tank, redelike groot krokodiltrane te huil. Dit is eerlikwaar wat ek verwag. Maar so weet, diesel is dit. My vrou ry gelukkig 'n Yaku en hare is petrol, so as dit regtig styf raak, dan sal ons nou maar begin om haar kar te ry en myne te los. Blitz, second question, South Africa had an amazing year finance-wise this year, right? Had an amazing year finance-wise this year, right? This year, I don't know how strong it's been. To be honest with you, I have not been watching the markets that closely, especially in regards to South Africa. What I have seen is that South Africa has done very well in terms of the rand-dollar exchange rate. Our rand strengthened substantially, sliding back a little bit now. But South Africa has had a very good run for at least 2.5 years. Similar to the rest of the world. So all in all, South Africa In terms of financial, very good. It's just one shame is our stock market shows that phenomenal run, but our, what do they call it, gross domestic product, GDP, does not show that. We don't see that growth in the economy. And I wish government would do things that will enhance the GDP, enhance the gross domestic product, because if they start doing things that helps businesses to grow, if they start making changes with regards to certain laws to our business to grow, man, I think South Africa could be a phenomenal country and we could easily become another Switzerland or Dubai or whatever, if only our rules are relaxed a bit. But in any case, so be it. Tic-tac-toe, R1,500 for 4 months. Tic-tac-toe, nee, before the increase, it would cost me approximately 1,900 to fill up my car. It's got a large tank, I think it's an 85 litre tank, so it would cost me that, and I normally drive it until it's on fumes. So yeah, it would take me 1,900 to fill up, so now I think it's going to be, what, another 25%, close to 2,500. Yeah, say no more. Keketso says, how much do you charge for your services? Keketso, I ask a consultation fee of 1,950 Rand for the first consultation. And this consultation is basically consists of 3 parts. It's an information session, a planning session, and feedback session. So it could be 1 consultation, it could also be 2 or 3 consultations. So that's what I charge, 1,950 Rand, and then after this consultation, if you decide to work with me, be my client, if I accept you, then from there on, all further consultation fees are negotiated with you, be that an hourly fee, be that commission that I earn, be it that fees that I earn, it all depends. But yeah, it's literally the first consultation is 1,950 Rand. I know you might think it's steep, but I find it is absolutely reasonable, and lots of people pay it willingly to come and speak to me. Mine is 650 to fill up. Okay, so basically you've got a tank that's about a, 40 litre tank? Could be, I don't know. 1,100 Rand worth every cent. Thank you very much, Tic-tac-toe. I believe so, and yeah, most people that actually come and speak to me and come and see me for a consultation, they seem to think so. If I look at the clients that I have seen, well, over the last 30 years, stroke last 2 or 3 years, then yeah, then it seems like it is what I ask is a fair price. I trust it's a fair price. At the end of the day, 1,950 Rand might sound like a pretty high consultation fee, but you pay a high consultation fee because I have to pay a lot of people to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Any case, Mtutu, are markets crashing? Are investments safe? Mtutu, my good man, investments are good. Are markets crashing? Markets are taking a bit of punishment, but listen, it's to be expected. Whenever there's something like a war happening, some other crisis, when we had COVID, that was a crisis. If things like that happen, people normally get scared. And this is the wonderful thing about the world of investing. If the world of investing was just left to people that actually have studied it, that understands the markets, that does the investing, does the buying and selling, we will not see these steep up and downs, up and downs, up and downs. We won't see that because the people in the know, if I can put it that way, would be doing all the business dealings. But we live in a world where you've got a large section of the market being made up of people that knows and understands what's going on, and then a large piece of the market is made up of people that have absolutely no clue. They've heard something and they think, yes, I know exactly what's going on. They hear one thing and they suddenly think that they are a market expert. So many times I've spoken to people that they've bought a share because somebody has told them the share is going to do fantastically. And then that share does actually do fantastically. Once again, if we're going back to COVID, Sasol share went down to next to nothing, and everybody said bought Sasol. And a couple of people bought Sasol shares, and then Sasol recovered. And somebody that has never done any share trading, has had no knowledge, suddenly they made 2, 3, 400% return, and they thought, okay, man, this is it. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I am the king of share trading. And they started getting, they had an absolutely lucky strike with regards to the Sasol shares at that stage. But suddenly they thought they were the kings. They knew everything about investing. And they became a player in the market. And that is one of the things that happens, is that you've got a lot of people that are experts, that knows and understands and does analysis and trades on a very responsible basis. And then you've got a whole lot of people that has absolutely no clue, and they've just by accident picked the right share here and there, and then they go. So in times like this, when crisis hits, a lot of the experts will slowly diversify into something different, and a lot of these young guns that's accidentally fall into the market will start running for the hills or whatever. And I think that is a big part to play in markets going up and down, or rather share prices going up and down, up and down, up and down. So just to come back to your question, markets are crashing in certain categories, but in other categories not. Markets are not taking a full-on tumble like it was during COVID and the World War I's and World War II's and stuff like that. Is investment safe? Well, the investment is as safe as you as the investor are. And what I mean by that is, you as the investor, if you leave your investment invested, okay, and you ride this wave of absolute madness that's happening at the moment, then when we get to the other side, be that in 3 months or 6 months or 12 months time, your investment is going to be good. But if you withdraw your investment now after it's taken a tumble of 10 or 15%, and you withdraw the money, you put it into cash, and then you want to come back at some stage, then no, then your investment is not safe. You've just basically screwed yourself. I don't know how to explain this better, but all I can say is just hang in there. If you're an investor, hang in there. Like I said in the last few days, if you have to take your money tomorrow because you're retiring tomorrow, yeah, well then you're in a bit of a bad spot, because your pension fund is going to be worth a bit less. But if you're not one of those people that absolutely have to take their money tomorrow, then you don't have much to worry about. If you can hang in there, I would say anything from the next 3 months to the next 12 months. This thing is going to sort itself out, markets are going to recover, and you're going to be okay. So, Mtutu, I don't know if I've answered your question, but that is my personal take on it. Just don't stress too much about it, especially if you have no intention of actually withdrawing or pulling out of the market, okay? Tic-tac-toe says, it's not what you charge the client, it's what the investment does for the client. I agree with you 100%, and at the end of the day, from person to person, client to client, individual to individual, everybody has different needs. And if the need is addressed and the value is offered, then it doesn't matter what you charge. I mean, there are people out there, I mean, Vusi Tembakwayo, what do you think Vusi Tembakwayo charges you for a one-on-one consultation? He's also going to spend an hour with you, but he's not going to charge you 2,000 Rand for a one-on-one consultation. I think you'll be lucky if you speak to Vusi Tembakwayo on a one-on-one basis at 25,000 Rand an hour. So yes, it's absolutely the value that is given that determines whether the price is right or not. Nou wat nou, waar's daai ou nou? Daai ou is nog steeds net hier so teesak. Ek gooi net so 'n bietjie Engels, want ons het 'n klompie Engelse mense hier so. Teesak went to fetch a beer. It's a pleasure, Mtutu. I'm very glad if it was insightful. Vusi can come and learn from you, Kunai. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I have not met Vusi Tembakwa, but I have seen a lot of his videos. I've actually been in a presentation that he's given, and yeah, that man he's got a head on his shoulders. He knows what he's talking about. But so there are a lot of other people. I mean, I signaled him out now, but if you go and you look at people like Grant Cardone, Alex Hormozy, I think if Raymond Ackerman, I think those type of people, you can't just phone him up and set up an appointment. Those people's time is absolutely valuable because of the knowledge and the expertise that they've got. And yes, I suppose as you go through life, you will learn more expertise, you will become more, and there's also obviously the perceived value. For some people, they perceive that, yes, to go and sit down with this person, I just want to sit down and meet with him, and then they come to realize that that specific individual is so in demand that he is going to charge them 20 or 30,000 rand for appointment. I am reasonably in demand, and when I say reasonably in demand, my diary is filled up right until the 20th of April. I can't take any more appointments, and after these holidays, then we'll fill up a month in advance again. So that basically gives me the measuring guide to determine how much I can ask for a consultation or not. Interesting world we live in when it comes to business and business ethics and consultation fees and all those things. Very possible, tic-tac-toe. Let me go back and see if I can find that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm having a super fantastic chat tonight with Tic-Tac-Toe and Tearsuck, and we're talking a lot of nonsense and very little, what do you call it, Q&A on financial things. So please, if you have a question, stick it in here, because we are literally talking nonsense and not really doing a Q&A. And it's a hell of a lot of fun, I must say. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking now for one specific thing from Tic-Tac-Toe. Tic-Tac-Toe, praat jy van hierdie ding van ek het 'n paar miljoen in die rusbank. Want dis definitief nie in die bank nie. Ek het daai gesien omtrent die rusbank, maar is definitief nie die bank nie. Gelukkig. Wat is die issue? Daar's ons Tearsuck, hy het ons gejoin daar en begin snaakse vrae vra. Okay, so jy het die ding gevra van die ja, Tic-Tac-Toe, ek het die rusbank oefening gesien net nou. Ek het net nie uitgebars en myself flou gelag nie, maar dit was baie lagwekkend. Okay, let's see. I'm having fun here. I saw your message, Tic-Tac-Toe, the previous message about Rusbank investments, but I did not see anything about the bank investment, unless I'm laughing at the wrong thing. Then I'm asking, sorry China, just go and post it in again. Corneille Oppenheimer, yeah, sure. How can I invest and build a portfolio if I get retrenched at work? Okay, Keketso, so here's the thing. If you get retrenched at work, okay, it is a bad hand. It's a bad deal that you've been handed by the economy. And maybe not even the economy per se, but by your employer. So you've got one of two choices. You can either go and sit in a corner and you can cry about what's happened, or you could say, listen, yeah, I'm going to take this as an opportunity. An opportunity to find employment somewhere else, an opportunity to start my own business, an opportunity to go and do something completely different. It's absolutely up to you. For some people who has been retrenched, who's been fired, who's lost their jobs, it's been the best thing that could have happened to them because they were forced to go and think out of the box and to start a new business for themselves. And because they had to do that, because they were put under this pressure, they actually started something very small and it grew into something very big. So I'm going to tell you what I tell a lot of people. Before something like that happens, before you get retrenched, go and start today by working on yourself. And when I say working on yourself, go and educate yourself with regards to a variety of things. Things that you're interested in, but things such as skills, such as finances, such as budgeting, such as health, wealth. Go and read books on personal improvement. Go and read books from businessmen and entrepreneurs telling you how they started businesses, how to become a good business person. Go and do those type of things. Go and improve your own personal education, knowledge, wealth, health, everything like that. And then you might actually get to the point where you find a smart business idea that you can start on the sideline. And you can start your own business, and before you get retrenched, you can actually resign because you're going to start this brilliant business. I really encourage people. I think so many people are so reliant on just going to find a job and working for a boss. Because that's what their parents did and their grandparents did and everybody else did. And we live in a different world these days. We live in a world where you have to absolutely think out of the box, do out of the box, learn to do whatever you do the best in the market. Do it differently, do it creative. Go and do that. And then you won't worry about being retrenched. But if you've been retrenched, okay, like I say, either go and find another job, start a business, and then once you've got this new job business, then you start working very disciplined with the budget and you start investing. Start small. It will grow. It will become bigger. But I think don't be pessimistic and just expect to be retrenched, expect to be fired. Because I find that is something that I come across a lot on the feedback that I get on the videos that I make. People that are just basically pessimistic and expect the worst to happen. But even though they expect the worst to happen, they don't do anything to improve their situation. So don't be one of those people. Go and start today working on yourself and improving yourself so that if retrenchment does happen, you don't become one of those statistics. Okay? Sorry, Kaketso, I might have gone a bit overboard here, but you've given me an opportunity to speak about something that I really am passionate about. Chris Rhoda, what should I do with 500k to work for me? Chris, I'm going to tell you something that I've said on a number of occasions and that I've told everybody on a number of occasions. If I don't know you as an individual, if I don't know what your income and expenses situation is, if I don't know your assets and liabilities, if I don't know how old you are, what your dreams are, what your goals are, what your financial dependency is in terms of people being financial dependent on you, what your tax situation is, how long you have to invest for. If I don't know those aspects, I can't tell you what to do with 500,000 Rand. Because the person that is 22 years old and has 500,000 Rand to invest and can invest it for the next 40 years, I will give a certain type of advice. The person that is 65 years old and only has that 500,000, nothing else, I'll give completely different advice to in terms of what to do with that 500,000. So your 500,000 Rand is very much dependent on all those aspects. I think one of the big mistakes that people make is that people have a set amount of money and they think exactly like you think, what should I do with it? And then they listen to friends or family members and somebody has made it big on Forex or on crypto or on gold or something like that, and because they've done it big, they tell you about it and you go invest it, and then the market falls flat and you actually lose out, and then you're despondent. It's because people then invest just because they've heard of something that was good, but they did not do the investigation, they did not make sure that they had the knowledge to actually invest at the right place. So Chris, once again, just to come back to it, speak to somebody that will look at your entire situation and that can give you options with regards to investments, but most importantly, that can guide you as to where your 500,000 Rand will work best for you. Okay. And then Chris, if you need somebody like that, you're more than welcome to contact us. My contact details is in my profile, and either myself or one of my advisors can meet with you and give you some advice. Okay. Eugene says, hi Correa, how much is capital gains tax on a rental property sold for 950,000, 39%? Eugene, my cousin, my brother from another mother. I don't know. How much is capital gains tax on it? I really don't know. Because you sold it for 950,000 Rand, okay? I don't know what your base cost is. So that's the first thing. We need to know what your base cost is in order to determine what the capital gain is. Only once we've determined what the capital gain is can we bring into consideration the rebate. And only once we brought that into consideration can we use the inclusion rate, and then we can go and calculate what the actual tax is. And this is the funny thing, Eugene. I could go and do this calculation, but I need to go and open a file on my computer. I need to go and find the formula, and I have to go and put it in and calculate it there, because I don't deal with tax, as I'm not a tax specialist or a tax consultant. So I can't really sit here on my calculator and calculate it for you quickly. I just don't have that knowledge. I literally have to go and open up a file with an app and a formula, and I have to go and calculate it, purely because that's not my primary business line of business. So Eugene, sorry my mate, I can't give you an answer. I actually would rather refer you to my accountant, buddy, friend, connection, co-conspirator, whatever you want to call him, and say, listen, contact this oak, he's going to ask you a couple of questions, he'll do the calculation, he'll tell you. But I can't tell you offhand, okay mate, sorry. Beside having pension fund, which investment can I use for 10 years? So if you want to do an investment for 10 years, okay, now the pension fund should not be, or the fact that you have a pension fund should not have anything to do with the 10-year term. That's the first thing. Unless you are 50 or 55 and you're planning on retiring in 10 years. That's the only time that the pension fund becomes relevant on the 10-year term. Now, if you have other money that you want to invest over a 10-year term, then there's a number of other questions that comes into play. Like, how much liquidity do you need? Liquidity means how available must that cash be for you? That's the one thing. What tax bracket are you in? Because the tax bracket determines whether you are better off in a unit trust or better off in an endowment. Okay? Then the next thing is, how much risk are you willing to take over this 10-year period? Because that's going to have an influence. So 065 master, like I said to the previous person that raised the question, unless I understand your circumstances, unless I can ask you some questions so that I can understand where you are, what your needs is, I can't really give you a straightforward answer. It's just as simple as that. I can only give you a proper answer if I've done a needs analysis for you. Okay. So, same as what I said to Chris earlier on, is contact us via the contact details in our profile, in my profile, and we can set up an appointment for you with myself or one of my advisors, and we will gladly go through a planning session with you and then give you a proper answer in terms of what we think is the best thing and what product we recommend. Okay. Creator says government bond. The creator, my mate, you're welcome to my comments on my TikTok Q&A, but not to tell people to take government bonds. Please. It is, I've said it so many times, government bonds is not a good investment. I don't care what anybody says. Government bonds or any other bonds is not a good investment because at the end of the day, it's a set interest return investment and you're going to pay tax on that interest return investment. So even if you buy a government bond at 11% and you then have to pay tax on it of 30%, you're walking away with 8%. It's not a good return on investment. So please stop telling people where they must invest their money, especially on my channel. Okay, 065 Master, yes, 10 years, this investment will not be part of my pension. It's all fine and dandy that you tell me it won't be part of your pension. But I still don't know enough information in order to give you a realistic answer. And fact is, and this is what people don't understand, any investment that we do is part of our pension. You might not see an investment as part of your pension, but every investment that we do is part of our pension. And the reason why it is part of our pension is, if you have a bond, okay, and you pay your bond off in 10 years instead of 20 years, then it means that you have less expenses in terms of bonds at a later stage, and you've got more money to invest at a later stage, and that money might not be used for your retirement, but it could be used for an overseas trip, which means that you are paying for with money that you save that you don't have to take from your pension one day. If you invest money for 10 years and it's not part of your pension, but you're going to use that money to pay off your house or buy a new car or go on an international holiday, whatever the case might be, it contributes towards your pension because it means that you don't have to use your pension money to do that thing that you're just going to do. So people have this absolute misperception. I want to save my child's education. I want to save for a swimming pool. I want to put in at our house. It's got nothing to do with my pension. Of course it's got to do with your pension. Because if you want something, but you can't do it, you are going to do it sometime in the future with your pension money. So if you do it now with money that is not your pension fund money, you're just helping your pension fund money in the future not to be utilized for stuff that is not pension related. So you might think it's not part of your pension, but it is. It's just that you're using it for something different at a different time, but it's actually helping you in your pension time, in your time of retirement, not to suffer, not to battle. It is. It's absolutely part of your pension. Ibi Kunle says, so what is the best investment? Where is the right place? Oh, you cannot be serious. This is the third time tonight I'm getting the same question. I suppose you've tuned in a bit late. Okay. First of all, I cannot tell you what is the best investment, where is the right place to invest, unless I've had a consultation with you, because I need to know your assets and liabilities, income and expenses, your goals, your dreams, your tax bracket, your financial dependence. There's a lot of things that I need to know before I can tell you what is the best investment and where is the right place to invest. So Ibi Kunle, you are more than welcome to contact me via the profile, contact details, WhatsApp and website, and I will gladly set up an appointment for you with myself or one of my advisors, and we can then take you through this process of planning, and then we will advise you. But I cannot tell you just based on the question, okay? The creator says, you can start with Easy Equities platform. The creator, I think I'm going to start blocking you because you are talking the biggest load of crap here. It is pretty obvious that you are not a financial advisor. You just want to tell somebody something, and in the meantime, I really feel that you are causing damage here, because I'm trying to really help people with good financial advice, and you just throwing in things like easy equities and government bonds or whatever just confuses people. So please stop that, or I will actually block you, I swear. Unati, please don't listen to the creator, because he has absolutely no clue what he's talking about. Once again, Ibukene, please don't ask the creator, because he is absolutely clueless. Okay, let's see. We thank you. Says, is the idea to first say 3 to 6 months emergency at your disposal before you start investing? It's one of the best things you can do. We thank you. If you can save up, 3 to 6 months income, okay, let's say you earn 10,000 Rand a month, okay, and I'm just using 10,000 Rand as a straightforward example. If you've got 30 to 60,000 Rand in the bank, you've got peace of mind. You've got that peace of mind to know, listen here, if there's a crisis, then I can take care of it. And then it gives you the freedom to start investing on other platforms and not worry about any crises. If you do not have that peace of mind, and the crisis happens, what happens when that crisis happens? Because I don't have that money saved up, we normally run through things like credit cards, loans, loan sharks, call it what you want. And the moment you do that, you put yourself on the back foot. Because let's say once again, you're earning that 10,000 Rand and suddenly you've got a 5,000 Rand crisis. Now, if you had 30 to 60,000 Rand in the bank, you would have had 5,000 Rand to go and take care of the problem. It's over and done with, and you can slowly but surely put that 5,000 Rand back. But if you do not have that 30 to 60,000 Rand, and now you've got this 5,000 Rand crisis, and now you go and you do a personal loan or credit card or whatever, you don't have to pay back 5,000 Rand. It now becomes 6,000 or 7,000 Rand depending on the interest. So now you are battling to pay a creditor, and that creditor is not a nice person. If you skip a premium, or if you just pay a portion of premium, they're at your doorstep and they're asking where the money is. So immediately you're under financial pressure because of a crisis that's happened. If you had the 30,000 Rand in the bank, you would have sorted out the crisis and gone on with your life. And this is why the emergency fund is so crucial. It's not that it's going to make your life easy. It's not it's going to make you financially independent for the rest of your life. Nothing like that. It's just that it's going to help you to have the peace of mind that I don't have to stress when big problems come over my path. So yes, if you can build up that emergency fund and then you start investing, trust me, you are going to be better off than 99.99% of our population, because you will most probably never be in a situation that you put yourself into debt. I'm not talking about big debts such as bonds and car financing. It's something different. I'm talking about high risk, high interest debts. And the funny thing is that happens, okay, I was talking about 10,000 Rand income, 30 to 60,000 Rand emergency fund. Funny thing is that happens that when people actually builds up that emergency fund, and let's say their salary increases to 15 or 20,000 Rand, they almost without thinking increase and improve the emergency fund to 3 to 6 months of that new amount. And they never seem to fall into lack where they don't have enough. They always have enough. Chris Roder, 90k in a bank emergency fund, just sitting, hate banks, wants growth, easy access. Chris, yes, I know you've got 90,000 Rand in bank as an excess fund. Don't worry about it. I don't like banks either. I don't like the interest rates. I think it's not big enough, and whatever the case might be. But the 3 to 6 month fund that you've got in emergency in the bank is absolutely worth that small interest that you're earning there. Okay, do not worry about it. The look at the big picture. The big picture is I've got 90,000 Rand sitting in the bank, not earning a lot of interest, but I'm trying to get to 9 million Rand in investment so that I can retire. Now, when you go and you compare that, this is what I want to get to for my retirement, whatever, and this is the small portion that I'm keeping here. Makes perfect financial sense. So don't worry about the fact that that little 90,000 Rand is sitting in the bank. Once again, let's work on 90,000 at 10% growth. You're never going to get 10% on interest, but it's 900 Rand. At 4.5%, it's 450 Rand. It's not money, it's nothing. But your 9 million at 9% or 10% growth. 9 million at 10% growth is suddenly 900,000 Rand. Or at 4.5% is 450,000 Rand. That's where the growth is. It's with your real investments. The small, just for the panic stages. Bank investments, big no-no. Yes, tic-tac-toe, it is a big no-no, but like we say, there is a portion that should be in the bank, no matter how bad they are. Ebukule says, yes, I tune in halfway. Well, Emekule, thank you for letting me know. But at least now I've explained it to you, and hopefully you will come to us and you will speak to us and we'll be able to help you, okay? Dean says, is this market or is this war having an impact on the market, especially on my tax-free savings investment with Absa? Dean, the market, the war is having an impact on the markets, but it's not a severe impact. And if you are a long-term investor, then it won't be a big problem and you shouldn't worry about it. Does it have an impact on your tax-free savings? Most probably not, because you're still going to get the same savings interest rate that you've always gotten. But what I can tell you is if you have a tax-free savings at the bank and it's not being impacted, doesn't mean that you're winning. You're still losing in the long run, because that Bank 3 savings account that's giving you 7% might be doing better than the investment that's sitting at minus 10% at the moment. But when the investments recover, they're going to start doing 10 and 11 and 12% return. You're still going to get 5 or 6 or 7%. So don't be fooled by a tax-free savings account where you're earning interest. You want to be in a market, especially if you have a tax-free investment. You want to be invested in a market investment, and you want to be invested on the long term. If you do a tax-free savings in the right way, meaning investing it with at least 10 to 15 years, but preferably 30, 40, 50 years, you want to be in a market-linked portfolio. If you put it in a savings account at the bank, or you intend on drawing it every few years, well, then it's a useless investment in any case. Wayne says, I got divorced, my wife got 50% of my pension. When I go on pension, do I still get the 550,000 tax-free? Yes, Wayne, you do. Legislation says that although your wife took half of your pension fund, you now have separate pension funds. Out of the one pension fund, two separate pension funds. Both your pension funds grow, and both of you will now get the 550,000 Rand tax-free at retirement. So Wayne, you are sorted. Sorry to say that you have sorry to see that you've lost 50%, but at least in terms of the tax-free portions, you're still going to get the full tax-free amount. The Creator, my apologies. Thank you very much, the Creator. I really appreciate the fact that you have apologized. Please, sir, get educated, speak to somebody, but do not make comments on stuff that you obviously do not have a lot of knowledge on. It's Katie says, what about students with less than 2,000 Rand disposable income? I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to, but let me tell you one thing about anybody and any type of income. So let's talk about your student that's got less than 2,000 Rand disposable income. If you only have 2,000 Rand disposable income, you're most probably struggling big time. Because you've got a lot of things to pay and whatever the case might be. But if you can get along with 2,000 Rand a month, chances are very good you can get along with 1,800 Rand. Because you've already taught yourself how to get along with that little bit. So you should be able to take 200 Rand off that and still get along with the 1,800 Rand. Here's the magic trick. If you start taking that 200 Rand off and you say, listen here, come hello our water, I'm going to take that 200 Rand, I'm going to put it somewhere. I'm going to put it in my pink piggy that's standing next to my bag. I'm going to put it in my safe. I'm going to put it in my bank account. I don't care. I'm going to get along with 1,800 Rand. And you adapt your budget and you work to the fact that you get through with 1,800 Rand. Then it means that you are working on a budget, and it means that you're disciplined. And if you can start doing that now, then you as a student that's going to get a good qualification, that is going to get a good education and therefore a good job into the future, will at some stage earn 12,000 and 20,000 and 120,000 Rand. And if you've learned now already to get along with 1,800 Rand and to put 10% away, and you keep on doing it as your income increases, you are going to be one of the wealthiest, one of the richest people that you have ever known yourself. So it might be bad that you have such a small disposable income, but if you can now already start teaching yourself, educating yourself to work on a budget and on the low amount, you will never ever regret it. You are just going to be smiling, laughing to the bank all the way in the future. Common Man says, hi Corne, do you suggest specific products like from Satrix or Signia Investment, etc.? I don't. Not specific products, okay? Let's put it that way. Not specific products, because there are a few different products of retirement annuities, endowments, unit trust, tax-free. So in terms of the products, I normally go and see what product fits best with the client depending on a number of factors. So I don't prescribe a specific product. I think if you look at my investment book, you will also not find that 80% is endowments and 20% is retirement annuities. It's a pretty good spread based on what clients' needs are. When we're talking about Satrix, Signia investments, I have preference with regards to Old Mutual products, but in terms of the portfolios that I use within that, I use different portfolios of Old Mutual, Allan Gray, Satrix, sometimes Signia, Marriott, etc. So I've got a set of portfolios that I like and that I recommend within the various products. But no, not specific products. I choose the best product depending on the client's circumstances, and the portfolio inside is a bit of a spread. Let's see. Oh, it's almost long weekend time for me. Thank you, sir. Chris Rada says, thank you, sir. I'm glad you're on TikTok. Awesome advice. You're the guy to go to. Thank you very much, Chris. You're welcome to contact me. I do this every Thursday night. Next week, I don't know if I'm going to do it next week. Next week, next week I'm taking a bit of leave. I don't know if I want to work next week, but in any case, Chris, whether I'm here next week Thursday or not, I'm here most Thursday. I've been doing this for more than a year now on Thursdays, and I enjoy it, and I'm glad if I'm of service to people. Tic Tac Toe says, everyone is complaining, all I want is a braai broodjie. Well, Tic Tac Toe, as long as you get a braai broodjie, I'm happy. All I want is a nice fat steak. Chris Rada says, now I believe even a cleaner can be a millionaire with compounding. Absolutely. Chris, absolutely. I'll tell you one thing. I said earlier that people should read books and educate themselves or whatever. There's a number of stories I've read of people doing exactly that, being janitors, that became multi-millionaires. People looked down on them because they were wearing overalls, riding bicycles, whatever. And then when they went into retirement or they passed away, then people saw that they were worth millions. It's purely because those people learned how to work with the little they have, they learned how to work on a budget, and they learned how to be disciplined with their money, and they invested. And this is the thing, investments at the end of the day is compound growth over the long time. Compound growth over a long period of time means you start when you're in your early 20s, you retire when you go into your 60s. That is compound growth over a long time. And trust me, anybody can become super wealthy if they just do it disciplined. Good advice says, what sort of investment can you make at 60 years as soon as you obtain? Good vibe. This is the fourth time tonight I'm going to say this. I can only tell you once I know you and understand you, once I know what your income and expenses are, assets and liabilities, what your dreams are, your goals are, your financial dependence. So basically what I'm saying to you, the only time I can give you a proper answer as to what would be the best investment for you is if I consulted with you and I understand you as a human being and what your needs are. Then only can I give you an answer. But there is no straightforward answer with regards to a question like this, because it's one sentence question, what investment can you make at 60? And there are hundreds of different options and combinations. So I'm going to tell you the same as the rest. In my profile is my WhatsApp number and our website. Contact us, set you up with an appointment with myself or one of my advisors, and we will do a planning session with you, and then we will give you advice, okay? Chris says, I'll take my hat off. Oh, thank you very much, Chris. It's only a pleasure. Folks, it is 7 o'clock. I cannot believe that we spoke for an hour tonight because it looked like we were just going to talk nonsense, but I enjoyed it. Lord, I just read it. Sorry that you just arrived. I'm going now. He says, love your sarcastic Scotch. I take that as sarcastic, but it spells caustic, so I'm not sure. But yeah, let's take it. Comment man says, if I go with your portfolio and something happens to your company, will I lose my money? If my company goes belly up, okay, if I go bankrupt, my company goes belly up, nothing happens to your investment because you're not investing in my company, you're investing in a different company. I give you an investment through an investment company such as Old Mutual or Allan Gray or 10X or whatever. So your investment is with them. So nothing happens to your investment. I'm just the one that suddenly is going to have nothing if my company goes belly up. So don't worry about my company. No, I never record the live. I've never thought about doing it. Sorry. My income is 70k per month. Okay, you're going to have to contact me like I said. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Spooky vra, wanneer gaan jy weer live? Elke donderdag aand Spooky, 10 tot 11. And yes, Aluma Capital does exist. Okay, folks, thank you very much. It is 1 minute past 7. I am going to have a long weekend now. All of you have an absolute blessed Easter. I hope you enjoy the peace and love of God. Remember, tomorrow is the day that Jesus Christ was sacrificed for us on the cross. Go out, remember that, and celebrate it. All the best. Have a wonderful evening. Keep well. Bye-bye.